Assalamu alaikum dear aspirants. CSS 2023 Pakistan Affairs question number 6. Joining the US-led coalition in the war against terrorism has many short and long joining term repercussions for Pakistan. आंसर डिस्कस करने से पहले आपसे गुजारिश है कि डिस्क्रिप्शन में दिए हुए लिंक्स पर क्लिक करके आप दूसरे भी CSS 2023 के बहुत सारे टॉपिक्स और प्लेलिस्ट को एक्सेस कर सकते हैं। थैंक यू। अब आगे चलते हैं। Pakistan's decision to join the US-led coalition in the war against terrorism after the 9/11 attacks has had both short-term and long-term repercussions for the country. Some of the major implications are short-term repercussions, security concerns, economic cost, political instability, diplomatic isolation, long-term repercussions, terrorism, international relations, radicalization, national identity एंड कंक्लूजन। अब हम इसको लेते हैं स्टार्ट से और डिस्कस करते हैं वन बाय वन। पहले शॉर्ट टर्म फिर लॉन्ग टर्म। शॉर्ट टर्म रेपरकशंस में सिक्योरिटी कंसर्न्स। Pakistan's decision to join the US-led coalition in the war against terrorism has made the country more vulnerable to the terrorist attacks. Militant groups have retaliated against the government, military and civilians in response to the country's decision to cooperate with the US. Economic cost. Pakistan's economy has suffered as a result of its decision to join the war on terrorism. The country's GDP growth rate declined, foreign investment decreased, and the country faced higher inflation rates and increased unemployment. Political instability. The decision to join the US-led coalition has also created political instability in the country. The government's decision has been criticized by some political parties and civil society groups, leading to protests and demonstrations. Diplomatic isolation. Pakistan's decision to join the war on terrorism has led to diplomatic isolation. Some countries, including Iran, China, and Russia, have opposed Pakistan's decision and have been critical of the country's role in the war. Now we are moving towards long-term repercussions. First one is terrorism. Pakistan's involvement in the war on terrorism has created a breeding ground for terrorism. Militant groups have used the war as justification for their activities and have exploited the country's political instability to carry out the attacks. International relations. Pakistan's involvement in the war on terrorism has strained the country's relations with some of its key allies, including the US. This has made it more difficult for the country to develop partnerships and alliances with other countries. Radicalization. The war on terrorism has also contributed to the radicalization of some segments of Pakistani society. Some Pakistanis view the US-led war as an attack on Islam and have become more sympathetic to extremist ideologies. National identity. Pakistan's involvement in the war on terrorism has also had an impact on the country's national identity. The country's decision to cooperate with the US has been perceived by some as betrayal of the country's Islamic identity and its commitment to the Muslim world. In concluding statement, we can say that Pakistan's decision to join the US-led coalition in the war against terrorism has had both short-term and long-term repercussions for the country. The decision has created security concerns, economic costs, political instability, and diplomatic isolation in the short term. In the long run or long term, it has contributed to terrorism, strained international relations, radicalization, and impacted the country's national identity. Addressing these challenges requires a comprehensive approach that focuses on strengthening democratic institutions, promoting economic development, and addressing the root causes of terrorism. Thank you for watching. अल्लाह हाफिज़। मिलते हैं अगले वीडियो में।